First contact and the ultimatum the day humanity broke the light barrier. Dr. Elena Rodriguez was eating a stale sandwich in her laboratory at Luna Station. She had been working on the quantum field equations for 18 months straight, surviving on coffee and determination. When the test results flashed across her screen, she nearly choked on her lunch. The numbers were impossible, beautiful, and terrifying all at once. The jump drive worked. Elena stared at the data streaming across multiple monitors. The prototype had successfully folded space-time for exactly 3.7 seconds, creating a bubble that could theoretically propel a spacecraft faster than light itself. She ran the calculations again, then a third time. Each result confirmed what she barely dared to believe. Humanity had just taken its first step toward the stars. Within hours, the laboratory buzzed with activity. Scientists, engineers, and military officials crowded around Elena's workstation. Admiral Marcus Chen, a weathered veteran of the Mars colonial wars, studied the readouts with intense focus. His grey eyes held the weight of every battle he had fought to protect Earth's expanding colonies. "How fast can we build a working model?" Admiral Chen asked, his voice cutting through the excited chatter. Elena pushed her glasses up her nose, a nervous habit from her graduate school days. With unlimited resources and round-the-clock teams, maybe 6 months for a ship-sized drive. But the power requirements are enormous. We would need to build new reactors. "You'll have whatever you need," the Admiral replied without hesitation. "Every resource Earth can provide." President Sarah Williams arrived at Luna Station the next morning. Having taken the fastest transport from Earth, she was a former naval officer herself, elected on promises to strengthen humanity's presence. In space, standing before Elena's prototype, she understood the implications immediately. "This changes everything," President Williams said quietly. "We're not alone in this galaxy. When we light up these drives, every civilization out there will know we exist." She was more right than anyone realized. The first human ship equipped with a jump drive was the UES Pathfinder, a modified exploration vessel under the command of Captain Jake Morrison. Jake was young for a starship captain, only 32, but he had earned his rank during the asteroid mining conflicts. His crew trusted him completely, which would prove crucial in the days ahead. The Pathfinder's maiden voyage was planned as a simple test run to Proxima Centauri and back. The mission parameters were straightforward: jump to the target system, conduct basic scans, and return to Earth with data. The entire journey should have taken less than a week. Captain Morrison stood on his bridge as the jump drive powered up for the first time. The ship hummed with energy, and space itself seemed to bend around them. Through the viewports, stars stretched into lines of light as reality folded. Then, with a sensation like falling upward, they were elsewhere. Proxima Centauri burned red before them, exactly where it should be. The crew cheered and began their sensor sweeps. That's when they detected the massive structure orbiting the system's second planet. "Captain," called Lieutenant Sarah Kim from the sensor station, "I'm reading an artificial construct. It's huge, maybe 20 kilometers across. Definitely not human." Jake felt his heart rate spike. First contact protocols flashed through his mind, but the reality was far more complex than any simulation. Full, passive scans only. Do not transmit anything. I want to know what we're looking at before they know we're here. The structure was clearly a space station, its design unlike anything in human databases. Curved sections formed elegant spirals around a central hub, with what appeared to be docking bays and weapon ports. It was beautiful and menacing at the same time. Sir Lieutenant Kim's voice was tense. They've detected us. Multiple contacts launching from the station. They're heading our way fast. Jake made the hardest decision of his life. Prepare for emergency jump. All hands, secure for. The Pathfinder shook as some kind of energy beam struck their hull. Damage reports flooded in, but the jump drive was still functional. As alien ships closed the distance, Jake gave the order that would change human history. Jump, now. Space folded again, and they were back in Earth's solar system. But they had brought more than data with them. They had brought attention. The alien transmission arrived 3 days later, broadcast on frequencies that Earth's satellites weren't even designed to monitor. It took the combined efforts of Earth's best linguists and computer systems to decode the message. When they finally understood it, the word sent chills through every government leader on the planet. Primitive species of the third planet, you have violated the sovereign space of the Zephyrian Empire with your crude technology. This intrusion will not be tolerated. Return to your system boundaries and abandon all faster-than-light research immediately. Any further expansion beyond your solar system will result in the complete sterilization of your species. This is your only warning. You have one standard galactic cycle to comply. Admiral Chen read the translation aloud in the emergency session of Earth's United Defense Council. Representatives from every nation sat in stunned silence. The message was clear, but the time frame was not. Nobody knew how long a galactic cycle might be. Dr. Rodriguez spoke up from her seat at the technical advisory table. Based on the signal propagation and the apparent standardization of the language, I estimate we're looking at approximately 30 Earth days, maybe less. President Williams stood slowly, her face grim but determined. So, they want us to abandon faster-than-light travel and stay trapped in our own solar system forever. Is that the message? That appears to be their demand? Yes, ma'am. Admiral Chen confirmed. The room erupted in heated discussion. Some argued for compliance, fearing humanity wasn't ready for a galactic war. Others demanded immediate military preparation. Through it all, President Williams remained silent, thinking. Finally, she called for order. The question before us isn't whether we can fight this Zephyrian Empire. The question is whether we can afford not to fight them. If we surrender our right to explore space now, we surrender our future as a species. Admiral Chen nodded grimly. Ma'am, we need to assume they're monitoring our communications. Any military preparations will need to be conducted under complete secrecy. Then that's what we'll do, President Williams declared. Alina, how many jump-capable ships can we build in 30 days? Alina ran quick calculations in her head. With every shipyard working at maximum capacity, maybe 12 or 15 combat-ready vessels. They won't be pretty, but they'll be functional. That's not nearly enough to fight an empire, someone protested. President Williams turned to face the assembly. Maybe not, but it's enough to show them that humanity doesn't surrender. Admiral Chen, you have full authorization to mobilize every resource we have. Dr. Rodriguez, you have unlimited funding and personnel. I want a fleet that can reach their space and make them regret threatening Earth. Over the following weeks, the entire planet transformed into a war production facility. Shipyards in Earth orbit worked around the clock, building vessels designed for one purpose, taking the fight to the enemy. The ships were crude compared to what the Zephyrians probably had, but they carried something that aliens might not expect: human determination. Admiral Chen assembled his fleet commanders in a secure facility deep beneath the Rockies. The men and women who filled the briefing room represented the best military minds humanity had produced. They studied enemy sensor data and planned strategies for fighting a technologically superior foe. "We don't know their numbers, their technology, or their tactics," Admiral Chen told his officers. "But we know one thing they don't expect. Humans don't surrender. When someone threatens our home, we fight back. And we fight dirty if we have to." Captain Morrison, now promoted to lead the reconnaissance squadron, raised his hand. "Sir, what's our primary objective? Are we trying to win this war or just survive it?" Admiral Chen's expression was stone. "Captain, we're going to do something they'll never expect. We're going to take the fight to them. Show them that threatening Earth was the biggest mistake they ever made." The fleet began assembling in the outer solar system, hidden behind Jupiter's massive bulk. 15 ships, each carrying the hopes and fears of 8 billion people. That weren't the largest fleet ever built, but they represented something unprecedented in human history. Unified purpose in the face of extinction. Elena Rodriguez stood in the observation deck of the flagship UES Defiant, watching as the last ships joined the formation. Her jump drive technology had started this crisis, but it might also be the key to ending it. She had spent sleepless nights making improvements to the drive systems, giving human ships capabilities that aliens wouldn't anticipate. President Williams addressed the fleet commanders via secure transmission on the day of departure. "You carry with you not just the hopes of Earth, but the future of our species. The Zephyrians think they can intimidate us into submission. Show them what happens when you threaten humanity's children." Admiral Chen took his position on the bridge of the Defiant. Around him, his crew prepared for a journey that would either secure humanity's place in the galaxy or end their story forever. The countdown began, and space started to fold around the fleet. As the stars stretched into lines of light, Admiral Chen spoke to his fleet. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Today we teach the galaxy that humanity bows to no one. Today we earn our place among the stars." The human fleet disappeared into jump space, carrying their defiance toward an empire that had ruled for millennia. Behind them, Earth waited in darkness, hoping their children would return as heroes rather than martyrs. Humanity strikes back. The human fleet emerged from jump space at the edge of the Kepler 442 system, where intelligence suggested a major military installation. Admiral Chen had chosen this target carefully. It was significant enough to send a message, but isolated enough that they might actually have a chance of success. Through the viewports of the UES Defiant, the target came into view. Proxima Station was even more massive than their intelligence had suggested. The orbital platform stretched across 50 kilometers of space, bristling with defensive weapons and surrounded by a fleet of sleek alien warships. It was beautiful, ancient, and absolutely terrifying. "Admiral," called Commander Lisa Park from the tactical station, "I count 37 enemy vessels of various sizes. Their largest ships are twice our mass, and their energy signatures suggest weapons technology far beyond our current capabilities." Admiral Chen studied the tactical display with calm focus. He had expected to be outgunned. The key was not to fight the enemy's fight, but to create their own rules of engagement. "Dr. Rodriguez, are you ready with the modified jump drives?" Elena nodded from her position at the engineering console. Over the past month, she had developed a technique that would allow human ships to make micro-jumps during combat, appearing and disappearing in ways that should confuse enemy targeting systems. "All ships report ready, Admiral." The drives can handle multiple short-range jumps, but we'll need to be careful about power consumption. Understood. All ships, this is Admiral Chen. Execute Operation Starbreak. Show them what happens when you corner a pack of wolves. The battle began with humanity's first surprise. Instead of advancing in formation as the Zephyrians expected, the human ships scattered and vanished, micro-jumping to positions throughout the system. The alien fleet suddenly found themselves facing attacks from multiple directions simultaneously. Captain Morrison's squadron materialized behind the enemy's left flank, their missile tubes already loaded and targeted. "Fire everything," he ordered, watching as dozens of nuclear-tipped warheads streaked toward the nearest Zephorian destroyer. The alien ship's shields flared as the missiles struck, but human nuclear weapons packed more punch than the Zephorians had anticipated. The destroyer's shields collapsed, and armor plating buckled under the assault. It was the first Zephorian ship to take damage in over a century. War Leader Kethver stood on the command deck of his flagship, the Eternal Dominion, watching in disbelief as the primitive humans employed tactics he had never seen before. Their ships appeared and disappeared like ghosts, striking from unexpected angles and vanishing before his gunners could achieve target lock. "Impossible," he hissed, his forearms gesturing frantically at the tactical displays. "These mammals barely achieved faster than light travel. How are they jumping during combat?" His tactical officer, a younger Zephyrian named Veltar, studied the sensor data with growing concern. "War Leader, their jump technology appears to be fundamentally different from ours. They're not using standard hyperspace channels. It's as if they're folding space itself." Kethver's eyes narrowed. The Zephyrian Empire had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years by maintaining technological superiority over all other species. These humans were changing the rules of space combat, and that could not be allowed. "All ships converge on the human flagship. If we destroy their command vessel, the rest will scatter like prey animals." But Admiral Chen had anticipated this response. As the Zephyrian fleet moved to surround the Defiant, the other human ships executed a coordinated strike against Proxima Station itself. Commander Park led the assault, her ship materializing just 50 meters from the station's primary reactor. "Complex, all Marines, prepare for boarding action," she announced over the ship's communication system. "We're going to take their station and send a message that will echo across the galaxy." The boarding pods launched directly into the station's hull, carrying teams of Earth's finest soldiers into the heart of Zephyrian power. These weren't just any troops. They were volunteers from every nation on Earth, united by a common purpose. Sergeant Tommy Walsh led the first squad through the breached hull, his plasma rifle ready for anything. The interior of the station was unlike anything human, with curved corridors and strange atmospheric controls. But the principles of combat remained the same. "Contact front," someone shouted as Zephyrian soldiers appeared around a bend in the corridor. The alien warriors were tall and elegant, with 4 arms and sophisticated energy weapons. But they had never faced human soldiers trained in close quarters combat. Tommy's squad moved like a well-oiled machine, using cover and suppressive fire to advance through the station's corridors. The Zephyrians fought bravely, but they were accustomed to fighting at long range with superior technology. Up close, human aggression and adaptability proved decisive. Meanwhile, in space, the main battle raged around the Defiant. Admiral Chen's flagship was taking heavy damage from multiple enemy vessels, but it was buying time for the boarding action to succeed. Admiral, we've lost main engines and our jump drive is at 20% power, reported the damage control. Officer Chen remained calm despite the chaos around him. Alina, can you give me one more jump? Just one. Dr. Rodriguez worked frantically at her console, rerouting power from life support and auxiliary systems. I can give you one jump, but it'll be rough, and we might not have enough power to jump again. That's all I need. Helm, set course directly for their flagship, full ramming speed. The bridge crew looked at their admiral in shock. He was planning to ram the most powerful ship in the Zephyrian fleet, using their own vessel as a weapon. Sir, the helmsman protested. That's suicide. Admiral Chen's voice was steady as steel. Son, sometimes the only way to win is to convince the enemy that you're willing to lose everything. All hands, prepare for collision. This is Admiral Chen. Today we show the galaxy what human courage looks like. The Defiant suddenly materialized directly in front of the Eternal Dominion, moving at maximum velocity toward the alien flagships. Bridge. War Leader Kethva had seconds to react, and his decision would determine the outcome of the battle. Instead of allowing the collision, Kethva ordered his ship to jump away from the ramming attack. It was a tactically sound decision that saved his flagship, but it also sent a clear message to every ship in both fleets. The humans had forced the commander of the Zephyrian Empire to retreat. At that moment, Commander Park's voice came across. All channels, Admiral Chen, Proxima Station is ours. We've captured their command center and shut down their weapon systems. The station is flying human colors. The sight of Earth's flag rising over a Zephyrian installation sent shockwaves through both fleets. For the first time in millennia, someone had successfully attacked an Empire facility and lived to tell about it. War Leader Kethva found himself in an impossible position. He could destroy the station and everyone on it, but that would mean killing his own people who were trapped inside. He could continue the battle, but the humans had already proven they could hurt his forces. Or he could do something unprecedented. In Zephyrian history, Human Admiral, came the transmission from the Eternal Dominion. I am War Leader Kethva of the Zephyrian Empire. You fight with honor, even if your tactics are unconventional. One propose a temporary cessation of hostilities. To discuss terms. Admiral Chen looked around his battered bridge. Half his systems were dead, and his ship was barely spaceworthy. But they had achieved something remarkable. They had forced the Empire to negotiate. War Leader Kethva, this is Admiral Chen. We accept your proposal. But understand, we're not here to surrender. We're here to establish humanity's right to exist among the stars. The two fleets maintained their positions while representatives from both sides met aboard a neutral transport. Ambassador Zara al-Rashid, Earth's finest diplomat, accompanied Admiral Chen to the meeting. She had spent her career negotiating treaties and trade agreements, but never anything like this. War Leader Kethva was impressive in person, standing nearly 3 meters tall with 4 powerful arms and eyes that held the wisdom of centuries. But there was something else in those eyes rasps. Your species fascinates me, Admiral Chen, Kethva began. In 3,000 years, no one has successfully challenged the Empire's authority. Yet you arrive in crude vessels with impossible technology and tactics we have never encountered. Admiral Chen leaned forward. War Leader, we didn't come here to conquer your empire or destroy your people. We came here because you threatened our home. Humans have a simple rule: you don't threaten our families. Ambassador al-Rashid spoke up. We seek only the right to explore space and develop our civilization. Surely the galaxy is large enough for both our species to coexist. Kethfer considered this for long moments. The Empire has maintained order for millennia by ensuring that no species develops technology that could threaten our stability. Your jump drive technology is ... unprecedented. It could destabilize everything we have built. Or it could be the beginning of something better, Alina Rodriguez interjected via communication link from the Defiant. War leader, your empire has brought order, but perhaps it's time for growth. Humanity doesn't seek to replace your empire. We seek to join the galactic community as equals. The negotiations continued for hours, with both sides making concessions. The humans agreed to share their jump drive technology in exchange for full recognition of humanity's sovereignty and the right to explore space freely. The Zephyrian Empire would maintain its territories, but humans would be granted access to neutral space and trade routes. As the agreements were finalized, war leader Kethfer made an observation that would be remembered throughout galactic history. Admiral Chen, when we first detected your species, we assumed you would submit like all the others. We underestimated something crucial: your willingness to risk everything for freedom. Admiral Chen smiled. War leader, you didn't underestimate our courage. You underestimated our stubbornness. When someone tells humanity we can't do something, we tend to take that as a challenge. The human fleet returned to Earth as heroes, but more importantly, they returned as the representatives of a species that had earned its place among the stars. The Zephyrian Empire, for the first time in its history, had found a species worthy of respect rather than domination. President Williams addressed the world from the steps of the CAT United Nations building, with Admiral Chen and Dr. Rodriguez beside her. Today, humanity took its first steps into a galaxy full of wonders and challenges. We go forward not as conquerors, but as explorers, carrying with us the values that make us human: courage, curiosity, and the unshakable belief that every species deserves the right to determine its own destiny. As celebrations erupted across Earth and its colonies, deep space monitoring stations detected something remarkable. Ships from dozens of species throughout the galaxy were beginning to move toward human space, not as invaders, but as potential allies. Word had spread quickly through the galactic community. Young species had stood up to the Empire and survived. The age of human expansion had begun, but it would be an expansion built on cooperation rather than conquest. And somewhere in the depths of space, war leader Kethfer filed his final report on the human encounter with a recommendation that would change galactic politics forever. These humans possess a quality we have forgotten in our millennia of rule: refuse to accept that anything is impossible. The Empire would benefit from learning this lesson. Humanity had warned the galaxy that they would not go quietly into the night. Now the stars themselves would learn what it meant to hear humans say, "Watch this."